This is Bergstrom's State Line Quiz Bowl. Now from the Collins Aerospace Studio at the Nordloff Center in downtown Rockford, here's your host, Eric Wilson.
We are so glad you're here for another edition of Bergstrom's State Line Quiz Bowl. Oh, last week was a great matchup, right, between North Boone and South Beloit. It was really tight. This game has the potential to be just as close based on some statistics that I'm going to share with you in just a second. But first, how about a nice round of applause for the Hononegah Indians? Hononegah has been part of Quiz Bowl since day one. Last year fell just short of beating eventual champs Belvedere North in the Elite Eight. I'm sure you guys, Shane, are hoping to go a little bit farther this time around. We'll see what happens after this game because this is your first big challenge. Shane's the captain. Introduce us to your starting lineup, Shane.
All right. My name is Shane. I'd like to honor our captain, Stephanie Ballard, as it's her last year. To my left is McKenna. To my right is Wyatt and William.
Welcome, Hononegah Indians, and good luck taking on the Boylan Titans. This is also season 9 for Boylan, so you've got a pretty good legacy going here. Titans lost to Freeport by just 30 points in round 1 last season. That was probably a tough loss. All the losses are tough, really. Aiden is the captain. Introduce us to your starting lineup. Aiden.
My name is Aiden. To my left is Alden, and to my right are Luke and Ronan.
Congratulations for being here. I'm giving you congratulations before we even answered a question. I do want to point out this really interesting statistics, though. So this is our only NIC-10 matchup in the first round. These teams combined in the history of our tournament have played 40 games in their 8 seasons. This is only the second time these two teams have played each other. And also, if you want to talk about teams that are evenly matched, I referenced last week's game that was really, really tight. On average, Boylan scores 238 points a game. Hononegah's average is 236. Pretty evenly matched throughout the history of playing in our tournament. We'll see if it's that close near the end. I have a feeling it will be. Our first round is the buzz-in. So hands on your buzzers. You buzz in, you're on your own, no conferring. The 2 most important rules: wait for me to call your name and say your answer loudly and clearly. Here is our first question this week. What producer of the 2021 film Candyman, who directed the horror films Us and Get Out, starred in a sketch comedy show with Keegan-Michael Key? Shane.
Peele.
That's right. Jordan Peele also directed Nope and wrote Wendell and Wild. What empire lost Anatolia after the Battle of Manzikert and was governed by the Comnenus dynasty and by Justinian the Great from Constantinople? Luke.
The Byzantine Empire?
Yes, Byzantine Empire is correct. Boylan's on the board. Mystic poet Rumi and the polymath Omar Khayyam, who were both Muslim, wrote most of their poetry not in Arabic, but in what other language? Luke.
Farsi?
Yes, we will take that. Farsi or Persian. We're tied. What quantity, which is measured using the Cattell Culture Fair test and the Stanford Binet test, has a median of 100 and quantifies mental ability? Alden, sorry.
IQ.
That is correct. Probably off the charts with our players here, and Boylan is now in the lead. Homolytic cleavage forms what type of chemical species that are especially reactive because they have unpaired electrons? Shane.
Alkali metals.
Incorrect. Boylan, you have a chance for these points. Those are free radicals. What artistic movement included the female painters Eva Gonzalez, Marie Bracquemont, Berthe Morisot, and Mary Cassatt? McKenna.
Renaissance.
Incorrect. Boylan, you have a chance for these points. Luke.
Oriental.
Incorrect. They're all Impressionists. Impressionism is what we were looking for there. What country, which is home to the Rif Mountains, also contains the western terminus of the Atlas Mountains, which are found south of Casablanca? Luke.
Morocco?
Yes. You might know that this is the port city of, Casablanca was a port city of Morocco. That may have helped. Characters named Snowball and Napoleon represent Leon Shane.
Animal Farm?
Yep. You didn't even need the rest of that clue. What allegory of the Russian Revolution by George Orwell? What painter of Netherlandish proverbs, nicknamed for his paintings of peasants, was a Flemish artist who painted landscape with the fall of Icarus?
Bruegel.
Aiden?
Bruegel.
Judge, can we take that? Yes, we will take that. Points for Boylan. What river that flows through Orléans, Tours, and Nantes is the longest in France? Aiden.
The Seine.
Incorrect. Hononegah, do you have an answer? The Seine is the second longest in France. The river we needed was the Loire River. No points for that question, and that's how we end the round. Told you this was going to be a tight game. Boylan has 50, Hononegah has 30. 1 round in, 3 to play. The next one is volleyball, and we'll have it for you right after this break. Well, that was a solid first round, contestants. Only 2 questions separate our teams right now. Boylan's on top, 50-30 over Hononegah. We're going to get into our volleyball round right now. It's a back and forth, so we'll do as many questions as we can until we run out of time. No stealing of points, but you can talk as a team. The answer has to come from the captains. And because of the coin flip, Boylan's getting the first question. Aiden, are you ready?
Yep.
Here we go. What primary color, which is opposite cyan on a modern color wheel, once used pigments extracted from cinnabar and has shades including scarlet?
Red.
Yeah, that last one is probably a good clue. As soon as I said scarlet, you knew right. I could see it in your eyes. You get the first points of the round, and now we're over to Hononegah. Shane, here's your first question. What 2-word English name is given to Israel's air defense system deployed in 2011 that intercepts incoming artillery shells and rockets?
Iron Dome.
That's right. William, was that you leaning over and giving that answer? I want to give credit where credit is due. Nice work. And we're back over to Boylan. What material made from beta-carotene has high tensile strength, is produced by spinnerets, and is used for ballooning and catching prey by spiders?
Silk.
Yeah, also for stopping bad guys by Spider-Man. Back over to Hononegah. What English woman used twist endings in her mysteries The Murder of Roger Ackroyd and Death on the Nile, which both feature Detective Hercule Poirot?
Austin.
Incorrect. Christie. Agatha Christie, also known for Murder on the Orient Express. Back to Boylan. What act, which was declared a federal hate crime in a March 2022 law, is an extrajudicial attack, such as what happened in 1955 to Emmett Till?
Lynching.
Yeah, you got it. Even if you knew, but you consulted with your team, good strategy. Lynching is correct. That bill is actually the Emmett Till Anti-Lynching Act. Back to Hononegah. In the Jason Bourne franchise, Bourne suffers from what psychological condition that has retrograde and anterograde types?
Amnesia.
Yes, and Shane, I could see it in your eyes. You didn't need me to finish that question either. Back over to Boylan. What president under whom the Departments of Energy and Education were formed gave up his Georgia peanut farm after defeating Gerald Ford in 1976?
Jimmy Carter.
Yes. He only served 1 term and then was crushed in his re-election bid by Ronald Reagan next time around. Back over to Hononegah. What English king was overthrown after the Immortal Seven issued an invitation to William, thus beginning the Glorious Revolution? It's kind of a tough one. The buzzer got you there too. James II. Back to Boylan. What philosopher whose books include Untimely Meditations and The Gay Science wrote about the Ubermensch or Superman in Thus Spoke Zarathustra?
Friedrich Nietzsche.
Yes, Nietzsche is right. I'm going to give that credit to Nolan. I saw you going around the backside there and bringing that one over. Boylan's points. Back to Hononegah. The so-called classical tests of what theory include explaining the perihelion precession of Mercury and observing light bending around the sun? Maybe think of Einstein for this one. General relativity. And that's how we end the round. We're out of time. Boylan extended its lead a little bit. You're in triple digits now. Nice job, Titans. You're at 100. Hononegah not too far behind. You've got 50. And we all know the scores will change really quickly in our NECA IBEW lightning round, which is coming up in just a few minutes. But first, you get to play at home with the Bergstrom bonus question, and we'll be back with the answer.
Born Austin Richard Post, which rapper gained worldwide acclaim after his single Congratulations spent a record 77 weeks on the U.S. Billboard Top R&B and Hip Hop Albums chart?
Time for the halftime show and a pizza party. Actually, a future pizza party. That's what's on the line, thanks to our friends at Lino's. It's Bergstrom bonus question time. If you're watching at home, you saw this. Our contestants have not, so this is a standard buzz-in. Contestants, hands on your buzzers. Let me know if you know the answer to this. Born Austin Richard Post, which rapper gained worldwide acclaim after his single, Shane?
Post Malone.
That's right, single. Congratulations. Speaking of, congratulations on your pizza. Spent a record 77 weeks on the U.S. Billboard Top R&B and Hip Hop Albums chart. And fun fact, if you believe the interview that he gave a couple of years ago, he actually got his name from one of those online rap name generators, kind of like Childish Gambino did. Enjoy your pizza and pasta. You enjoy these 2 minutes of fantastic commercials, and we'll come back with our NECA IBEW lightning round. Back for the second half of our Bergstrom State Line Quiz Bowl. The NECA IBEW lightning round kicks off our second half. There's a lot of points on the line here. Contestants, if you run one of these categories, it's 100 points added to your score. That's where Boylan is right now. Boylan has 100, Hononegah has 50, but this round is, we call this kind of an equalizer because there's so many points available. Hononegah is getting the first question, or you get first choice anyway, Shane. Shane's still riding high off of his Bergstrom bonus question victory. These are your three categories to pick from. V in science, river cities, or lines.
We're going to go with V in science.
It's all yours. Identify these terms from science that start with the letter V. It's a pretty simple explanation. We'll see how quickly you can get through it. You will have 60 seconds to go through the 10. Advice to both teams, you can pass. So if you're getting hung up on something, don't be afraid to pass. And then Aiden, you and the Titans will have 30 seconds to get to whatever points they don't get from their first run through. Shane, are you set for your first one?
I think we're set.
All right. Identify these terms from science that start with the letter V. A space completely devoid of matter.
A vacuum.
Correct. In math, a placeholder for an unknown value, such as X.
A variable.
Correct. Electrons in an atom's outer shell.
Valence.
Correct. Density equals mass divided by this quantity.
Volume.
Correct. Organelle that stores waste.
Vacuole.
Correct. Elements with atomic symbol V.
Pass.
Body part, such as an organ that has lost its function.
Pass.
Measure of a fluid's resistance to flow.
Viscosity.
Correct. Essential amino acid with one-letter abbreviation V.
Pass.
Process of widening blood vessels.
Pass.
Element with atomic symbol V.
Vanadium.
Correct. Body part such as an organ that has lost its function.
Vestigial.
Correct. Essential amino acid with one letter, and that's our timer. That is a solid lightning round. 8 out of those 10, that's pretty good. They started out relatively easy too, got tough. There's 2 left, Aiden. For you and the team, you have the full 30 if you need it, or go ahead and you give answers and we can just move on. But you'll have the full 30 if you want it. Identify these terms from science that start with the letter V. Here we go. Essential amino acid with one-letter abbreviation V.
Pass.
Process of widening blood vessels.
Vascularize.
Incorrect. Essential amino acid with one-letter abbreviation V.
Pass again.
You want to know answer it?
No, yeah.
Okay. Those last 2 were the hardest, right? Both teams, I think, will agree with that. The essential amino acid with the one-letter abbreviation V is valine. And the widening of the blood vessels, vascular, you're kind of on the right track with that. It's vasodilation. That's the term for that. So we only left 20 points on the board there. Not bad. Now Hononegah is in the lead by 30. We move over to Boylan for choices, or Aiden, your choice between these two categories are river cities and lines.
All right, we'll go river cities.
Okay, you got it. What national capital sits on these rivers? So I will give you the river name. Your answer will be the city. Same rules apply. And Shane, same opportunity for you, 30 seconds at the end. The clock will start when I give you this first one. Aiden, are you set?
Yes.
Here we go. What national capital sits on these rivers? Thames.
Pass.
Dnieper.
Pass.
Tiber.
Rome.
Correct. Potomac.
Washington, D.C.
Correct. Seine.
Paris.
Correct. River Liffey.
Pass.
Han.
Beijing.
Incorrect. Either of two on the Niger.
Pass.
Vltava.
Moscow.
Incorrect. Tigris.
Pass.
Thames.
London. I can't hear. London.
London.
Correct. Dnieper.
Pass.
River, and that's the time. That's not too bad either. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 correct, right? I think, yeah, do my math fast. Look at my check marks. 140, you're up by 10, but there's a lot left on here, Shane, for you and the Indians to come up with some more points. I'll read them as fast as I can. You only get 30 seconds. Are you ready?
Yep.
What national capital sits on these rivers? Dnieper.
Pass.
River Liffey.
Pass.
Han.
Pass.
Either of the two on the Niger.
Pass.
Vltava.
Pass.
Tigris.
Beirut.
Incorrect. Dnieper.
Pass.
And that's our time. There's a lot to get through in those 30 seconds, and at least you attempted all of them, so that's good. You don't have to leave any in question. I'll run through these that no one got. Dnieper, the national capital on these rivers on that river is Kyiv. The river Liffey was Dublin. Han is Seoul, is in South Korea. Either of the two on the Niger, we would have taken Bamako or Niamey. The Vltava was Prague, and the Tigris, often paired with the Euphrates, was Baghdad. So as we go into our final challenge, it's 10 points between our two teams. Anticipate this lead to change quite a bit because each of these questions now is worth 20 points. So basically the spread is less than a question. We'll see what happens when we do that final challenge right after this break. Well, this sure makes for an exciting game, doesn't it? 10 points between our two teams as we head into our final challenge. Boylan has 140, Hononegah has 130. Contestants, the only difference from this round between the first round is questions are worth now 20 points, which is why that 10-point swing is very, very vital. Also means the two most important rules are even more important. Wait for me to call your name before you answer and say your answer loudly and clearly. Good luck. A seat in our second round is on the line. We'll see what happens after this. Here's our first question, contestants. A magician brings the title puppet to life in Petrushka, a ballet by what Russian composer of The Firebird? William.
Tchaikovsky.
Incorrect. Boylan, these could be your points. Igor Stravinsky. New question, teams. What objects have a planetary type formed by dying stars and a dark type rich in light-absorbing dust and are clouds of interstellar gas? Shane.
Nebula.
Nebula is right. Hononegah is now on top. What author, the first American woman to win a Nobel Prize for Literature, wrote novels inspired by her youth as a daughter of missionaries in China? Most famous for The Good Earth, a novel about Chinese peasants, Pearl S. Buck. What sea borders the port of Rasht, receives the waters of the Volga River, and borders 5 countries, including Azerbaijan, Iran, and Russia? Wyatt.
The Black Sea.
Incorrect. Boylan. Go ahead, Luke.
The Caspian Sea.
Caspian Sea is correct. Boylan is back on top. The regions around 30 degrees latitude are named after what animals whose wild members in the American West are called mustangs? Ronan.
Horses.
That's right. Those are known as the horse latitudes. Boylan's got 20 more. What man who popularized the idea of the African-American double consciousness in The Souls of Black Folk was a co-founder of the NAACP? Shane.
Du Bois.
Du Bois is correct. A massacre of indigenous people and over 260 hangings were ordered by Governor George Arthur in what Australian state once called Van Diemen's Land? William.
Queensland.
Incorrect. Boylan, these could be your points. It'll put you to 200. Go ahead, Aiden.
Auckland.
Incorrect. Tasmania. John Kemeny and Thomas Kurtz developed what programming language, which may contain lines like go to 10 and is named for its general simplicity? Shane.
Assembly.
Incorrect. Boylan. Aiden.
Python.
Incorrect. Beginner's All-Purpose Symbolic Instruction Code, or BASIC. What planned city built east of Zuma Rock has served since 1991 as capital of Nigeria? Luke.
Lagos.
Incorrect. Hononegah. Lagos used to be the capital. It's Abuja. In what play is the Rude Mechanicals production of Pyramus and Thisbe viewed by Theseus and Hippolyta before its characters are blessed by Puck?
Midsummer
Alden.
Night's Dream.
Say that again, Alden.
A Midsummer Night's Dream.
That's correct. Of course, we were talking Shakespeare. You knew that. And that is our final question. That question puts you at 200. Boylan Titans, you are moving on to round 2. Congratulations. That was the cue for the applause. We have a huge audience here, right? And it took a while for them to give you those applause. Congratulations. But Hononegah, first of all, fantastic job. We know watching these games that they aren't always that close. You made this a fantastic game. You played a very good game. You should be very proud of yourselves. How many of you are seniors?
I'm a senior.
Just Shane. So Shane, we say goodbye to you for, not for good, you come visit anytime, but the rest of you guys, come back next season. Please, I hope. Do I sound like I'm begging? I'm sorry. I don't want to sound that desperate. But we want to see you back here play because you guys do a really good job. And Boylan, we'll see you in the second round. You will face the winner of next week's game between Dakota and Auburn. Hope to see you then. Man, what a good game. I know you would rather win, of course, but it was good.